I'm here. I don't know if I'm recording, but I'm here. Trying to get this thing bigger. Well, maybe I just have to deal with it. Hey, might have to come over to show me how to use it for same day. He told me there's 15 minutes and 30 seconds. The 30 seconds must be to say goodbye. But now my camera doesn't look like a camera, it's something else over here. But he told me I had to put on a shirt because he was embarrassed seeing his uncle without a shirt on. So I put on a great shirt. This is the one I wore to his wedding. Mickey Mouse. And I had a tie on that said, "Oh shit." Because legal weddings, that's the way I feel about them. As soon as you get married legally, you let the cops in your bedroom. It's always a stupid thing. He taught me how to find what I was talking about before, but I think I remember. I was just, God, it's too hot in here with this shirt on. Vince, I work for you, but I'm going to take it off because I even turned the heat down in my house, but it's still too hot. Oh, I'd wear pasties if that'd make you feel better, but I don't care. I don't think you guys care. Okay, back to Slippery Slide. Where was I? Oh, the Deanaway Valley. What a hellacious, beautiful place that was. It was like God just decided to make this the beautifulest place in the world. And I took a job for $10 a week in London board. And this lady let me grow pot in her garden and even bought me cigarettes. And all I had is these beautiful kids to watch. I mean, they weren't babies. I didn't change diapers, nothing like this. I just made sure they were having a good time and safe. And they were teaching me so much, like mushrooms in the woods. They knew exactly which mushrooms to eat. I mean, for food. They knew exactly which mushrooms to eat for getting stoned. If their mommy had taught them, these are the stone mushrooms, don't eat them. I found out that the Priaminator, they'll kill you. But if you take the outside red off and cook them up in the tea, you just get a good high. But you can't eat that red shit. And they taught me about the peniolas. I mean, they come up in horse shit. And they come up overnight. You go out there in the morning and there they are as soon as the first light hits. And they weren't there at night when you fed the horses. Those little, they look like a beautiful nipple of a dark skinned woman. You know, their dark tip then turn pleasurably white. Okay, but I learned so much living out at that ranch. And I got showed so many beautiful places. I got introduced to so many incredible characters. Whew. There was this old man out there. His name was Obie. It's Obie Turner. And he wrote a song about him. Obie Turner was a dirty old man. Get young women whenever he can. This guy was probably as old as I am. I think he was older than I am now. He seemed older than shit. I don't know. I think he was in his 80s, 70s. I'm only in my 60s, by the way. So he's probably 18 years older. Yeah, I don't know. But this crazy old guy, he was so much fun. I don't know why he ended up liking me. But him and we went out. He had this old Jeep, a 43 Jeep, old military Jeep. And he drove me up in these mountains around, and we came up to this rock face. The road was blocked. And he gets out of the tree and says, "Come on, Gordy." And he's got this rock hammer. It's about, see about how big my hand is, about like that. It's not, but it was real tiny. And he gets out there, and I'm looking at these rocks, and it's beautiful blue. I mean, we're talking like turquoise blue. And they're as big around as me, these pieces of rock coming off the place here. And he says, "Roll that one over for me, Gordy." I felt like a dumb kid, you know. Why am I rolling this rock? So I roll it a little bit. He could stand back, and he takes this little hammer and goes tap, tap, tap. And the rock just splinters in half. Now it's a half the size big rock. And it's just this gorgeous blue. And he has me roll it again. He taps, tap, and it breaks in another direction. So we took this big rock and we made it little rocks in different shapes. And we loaded them in the Jeep. And I went down with him and he unloaded them. He was building this outdoor barbecue with them. These beautiful blue stones that just came out of the mountains. And he was more than good. He had it about half done when he took me out and tricked me into helping him get these rocks. He's building these outdoor fireplaces, pits for barbecues and stuff. And we're talking these incredibly beautiful. He could build anything out of stone. He absolutely, Obi Turner is a dirty old man. He gets young women whenever he can. He never chased after him with his dick or nothing. He just flirted with him like every old man flirts with every young girl. Flirting should be legal. Actually, it should be a law. You got to be able to flirt when you're old. I mean, you can't catch them anymore. Never could catch them to start with. They can only be caught by themselves wanting to give it to you. There should be a law against guys raping, because it's only the women. Unless it takes about 10 guys to catch one. Whew. It's hard to catch. It's this rat I got running around in my house. I got this rat that he likes to climb the curtains. And he likes to eat the dog food. And he avoids every trap. But I fought with rats before. I had this pack rat once that it took me about a year to catch that sucker. And I had this little kid helping me set the trap, and I told him, "You don't ever catch anything unless you eat it. You kill it, you eat it." So I had to teach him how to make rat stew. And pack rat stew ain't bad. He learned to skin it. He kept the tail. He's probably still got the tail of that rat. That rat's got a tail about that long, and they're big and fluffy, and they're pretty. But they steal keys and rings and watches and whole loaves of bread. That's how I caught him. I put a big old gopher trap on the table, because the night before he took half the loaf of bread. I figured he'd come back. And that's where he was in the morning, trapped in the gopher trap. Biggest rat. I mean, his body was like, as long as this screen is here. That's how, with his tail all spread out and stuff. Big sucker. He's been messing around this cabin for a long time. Oh, okay, back to Slippery. And OB was this neat old man that I told you about. He did the rocks and stuff. But he smoked Bull Durham. I don't know if you know what Bull Durham is. Bull Durham is the scraps out of the tobacco factory. They put it in the old days. They put it in these little bags. It was the cheapest tobacco you could get. Powdered, hard to roll shit. But he'd put it in. He'd take it and put it in his pocket. Dump the bag out in his pocket. Keep the papers in his shirt pocket. And he could take one paper, put his hand in his pocket, and roll it with one hand. Put it in his mouth and smoke it. I mean, talk about an amazing old man. Last time I seen OB, he was living on the middle fork of the Canaway, and it flooded. And last time I seen him, he was in a rowboat, and his house had about 3 feet of water in it. And he's rolling around. It's always stone stuff. I mean, it was like he lived in a double wide trailer that he totally stoned in. It looked like a mansion, stoned in, pillars and stuff made of this beautiful quarry that he found. And we're in boats halfway up the door. That was the last time I seen OB. His relatives made him leave, and he never come back. I heard he died about 2 months later after he lost his land when the river took OB. But OB was a dirty old man. He got the young women whenever he can. Because he flirted with every... God, you should have seen the young girls when OB got to them. They actually blushed. You take a young white woman, you know how their skin just turns bright red when they blush? OB was great at making women blush. Okay, now I went from Slippery Side to OB. Now we got to go back to where I want to explain to you my best friend for 20 years. There was this lake called Lake Cleo. And it's this huge, unnatural lake. They put a dam on it to control the flooding down below. And on the other side of the dam, the ranger that was running the dam put up a trap to catch these coyotes. And he caught 3 coyotes. And when he went to go get them out of the trap, one of them got away and jumped in the spillway of the dam. He thought it was dead. It was just a little baby pup. But out of the other end, I got it. I got it from a guitar buddy of mine. The teacher in Ellensburg, name was Dennis Humphrey. He taught me so much music. But he cut this pup, and he didn't know how to take care of a dog. He had to teach school and stuff. So he put it in the kennel in his backyard. She was half dingo and half coyote, born in the wild. She was scared of human beings. But I loved that little pup. And I talked to Dennis because he didn't have time to train this little pup. You know? Her and I spent 20 years together. Hey, I think I got a picture here I'll show you guys. Oh, God. This is a picture of me way back then. Oh, that's Heidi down there on the corner. That's half dingo and half coyote. And she spent 20 years doing my work for me. She could take any cow, any bull, any kid. She was one of the best babysitters. Natural born herder. If I told her to stay home and watch the kids couldn't leave the yard. She wouldn't let them leave. I'll find a better picture to show you guys without me in it. God. Wow. I was sure young way back then, had red hair. My beard was even trimmed. I quit doing that. I think I'm going to play Santa this. Oh, there we stopped again. All right.